Christian parenting.
What if I told you that there is only one thing you need to begin and to continue homeschooling? Nope, it is not the curriculum. And no, it isn't a big budget or fancy manipulatives. Just one simple thing that will act as your foundation and anchor in all the years of homeschooling ahead. And it doesn't cost a thing. Sound too good to be true? I promise that it's not. Let's dive into that one thing in today's episode so that you can homeschool with the right perspective. Welcome to Little by Little Homeschool Podcast. I am your host, Leigh Nguyen. This episode originally aired way back when I started podcasting, and right now we are in a series of airing just some really great summer episodes. We just finished a bunch of those and just sharing some of just episodes that have stuck well to me, but also I have seen that many of you have enjoyed. And that is what this episode today is. Many that are listening, you might be considering homeschooling this fall. Some of you are sure that you're going to begin homeschooling and you just need a little confidence. And others of you listening are looking for confirmation to keep going. This episode aims to hit all three of those different types of people and people in between as well. Maybe you're just curious about homeschooling. There are more and more homeschool moms, or potential homeschool moms will say, parents thinking about it, and I am so excited about that. But underneath it all, there really is only one thing. Let's dive into that right now.
Might have noticed my voice a little bit nasally. Super annoying to possibly listen to, and I apologize. I tried to hold off on recording this episode, but I can't hold off any longer. You're just going to have to cut through that, and hopefully pretty soon here I'll be back to my normal voice, and you don't have to listen to this. My husband and I were pretty sick past week, and I feel fine. I just sound awful, so just know that behind the microphone, I'm not looking like a hot mess anymore. All right, so let's dive into today the one thing you need to begin and to continue homeschooling. When we start thinking about homeschooling, we can get lost in the weeds and the details, and we can miss this one foundational truth. And this one truth, all our decisions are based upon it. It is something that we will continue coming back to even after we start homeschooling. If you are a mama who is thinking about homeschooling, you're really going to need to dive into this one thing. If you are already homeschooling, there's probably times when you have gotten distracted by the curriculum, the details, everything when it comes to homeschooling, and we forget this one foundational truth. So a few years into homeschooling, my 3 kids were early to late elementary, and 3 kids, 3 grades, and it's a little crazy during that time. And if you're in that time, I completely understand. Just a lot of bouncing back and forth. I would do what I could together with them. But when you have a kiddo learning phonics and then you have another one who is interested as an elementary student writing research papers, okay, that was a complete anomaly. There are things that you cannot do together. So a lot of bouncing back and forth. And I really got lost in the day in and the day out, just trying to accomplish everything that I thought was important. Now, this one thing was very present in the beginning. It is what got me going and what kept me going. And at a certain point, I had to stop and I had to pull back from all the details, from all the bouncing back and forth, from what felt like insane type of days, absolutely exhausting. And I needed to ground myself again in this one thing. And I needed it to use me to keep going in the midst of some very full days when there's 3 kids within 5 years and just doing all of the things. But once I regrounded myself to it, it continued me through the rest of the elementary school years, the middle school years, and now high school years with my kiddos. And it is so solid. There is no changing my desire to homeschool, short of nothing. There's basically nothing. Even if something happened to my husband and I, our children will continue to be homeschooled. We have that very well laid out for them. There is no going back. So let's talk about that one thing and 3 common objections that I hear. Now, I'm going to warn you right now, I've got some straight talk coming, and take this in the most loving way possible. I don't like a lot of fluff overall in my life. If you meet me, I don't really want to talk about the weather. If I talk to you about the weather, it's because I don't know you well enough and don't know if you want to go deep. But give me a little bit of a clue that you want to go deep, and then we'll see what rabbit holes we end up down. So I'm just going to kind of shoot it to you straight here, but know that it comes from a heart that desires to call people up to living the life fully that God has for them and to reaching the potential that He has for them and their life and for their kids. So are you ready? Drum roll here. The one thing that you need in order to homeschool, let's cut out all the fluff. Let's cut out the different programs, the curriculum, the manipulatives, the different styles of homeschooling. And mama, you have to want to homeschool. That's it. It's just a 2-word thing. Want to. We can add another word. I want to, or I want to homeschool. You have to want to homeschool. And there are 3 objections that I have heard over and over again. This is years ago I started hearing these, and I hear it even now today in my own personal life with people, but I hear it a ton online because I have a lot more people that I interact with online, whether it's through messaging or just commenting on different posts. There are 3 things that I hear constantly, and it is holding people back from wanting to. They might say they want to, but deep down in their heart, I know that they don't want to. They're just using these, and they're using these excuses, these reasons as saying, well, I want to, but. So these are maybe we'll say these are 3 buts. The first one is that they complain about their current situation, but they keep doing it. My kid isn't doing well in school. The teacher isn't a great teacher. They're getting bullied. They're this, they're that. And they're complaining about the current situation, and they're not doing anything about it. Well, I want to, but, they would this and that. They might not like. No, you don't want to homeschool. I'm sorry. And that's okay. Admit it. I'm the type of person that if you don't want to homeschool, don't fake it with me. Just say, I don't want to homeschool. Okay, well, we can go on and talk about something else. Hopefully not the weather, but we can talk about something else. But if there is something going on with your child in school or whatever situation they are as far as their education, and you are complaining about it, you don't like the situation that they're in, you don't like what they're being taught, you don't like the classroom, you don't like the policies, do something about it. Maybe that means getting more involved in the situation that they are in the school system that they are in. And I'm not going to get political here because I could, and then this would be a very long podcast, and maybe some of you would enjoy it. We can maybe dive in a little bit deeper another time. But let me just say that there is only so much you can do in a state school system. The government runs the state school system. You can try, but at a certain point, you need to decide how much of my time is worth it. If you have the time to homeschool your kids and you're just complaining about the situation they're in, you don't really want to. So you need to decide, do I want to homeschool? And there is going to be sacrifices. There are going to be great sacrifices. Homeschooling, for me, has been my full-time job when it comes to everything with the house, meals, and taking care of the kids. It is a full-time job, and I absolutely love it. I am not complaining at all. There have been seasons that have been more difficult, but there's nothing I would go back and do differently. There is a sacrifice. So when it comes to somebody saying, well, I want to homeschool because of this and this and this, and they're complaining about things, but they never actually jump in and do it. They don't rip the Band-Aid off and just do it. They don't really want to homeschool. I understand. It's scary. It is completely unknown. And if you don't know anybody who homeschools, it can be even scarier and it can feel overwhelming. But when we stop and realize that there are millions of children out there being homeschooled, and therefore there are at least thousands of parents out there homeschooling, it's not impossible. We just need to stop complaining about our current situation that we are in, or we find our kids in, and we need to do something about it. Second objection that I hear often that shows me that somebody doesn't necessarily want to homeschool, and this might just be lip service, is that they talk about it, but then they never do it. They spend so much time researching homeschool. And I get it, because you can get onto Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever it is you use, and you can start researching homeschool, and we might not see you for a few weeks. I get it. There is a lot out there, a lot of information, but collecting information and never doing anything about it doesn't do your information or your time spent on researching. It doesn't validate that time that you have spent. If you are thinking about homeschooling, this is the number one thing that I deal with parents, and have put together my homeschool course and my program because I want to cut out all that wasted time. Forget all the Googling and the searching for things. Let's just get things figured out. If you are interested in I don't want to say a shortcut, because I'm going to make you do some work. I'm really going to make you kind of dive in and deep. We're just going to do the important things. We're not going to spend hours Googling about homeschool and then never doing anything about it. We're actually going to do it. I will put a link in the show notes, but you can get some information about my homeschool program where we get to put together your homeschool. All right, back to number 2 is that parents will talk about it but never do it. I saw a lot of people when some of the years have kind of gotten a little jumbled there. So I guess it would have been the 2020, 2021 homeschool year, and parents said they weren't going to send their kids with the different policies that were in place. And I've heard from multiple parents who said that their core group of parents said, we're not going to do it. We're not going to go along with it. We're not going to put our kids in school. And then these policies are put into place, and the parents got scared and put their kids into school. And these moms are like, I was the only one then out of my friend group that actually went and homeschooled. Number 2, again, is just that you talk about it, but never do it. Really examine your heart. If you're talking about homeschooling, but you never actually do it, maybe you don't really want to homeschool. And I want to encourage you to homeschool. That's what I'm here. My main goal, I feel like my mission in life is to convert people to homeschooling. It's just, I love it. And I'm not going to hide it either. I do it in real life too. And people will be like, oh, you could homeschool. All my friends know. They can come to me. But I do it in a type of way that kind of hopefully shows like, well, if you don't like that, then let's homeschool. Okay, let's jump on to number 3. And I often hear excuses from parents. Things like, well, I'm not smart enough. And what I'm going to start with here, I'm sure it's not all I'm going to say, but let's stop and think about this, moms and dads. Most of us have probably been through the public school system. And what kind of educational system results in adults in their 20s, 30s, 40s saying to themselves and saying out loud, I am not smart enough to teach my child how to read. I am not smart enough to educate my 9-year-old. I am not smart enough to facilitate an education for my middle schooler or high schooler. What kind of education did we receive if we don't think that we can actually educate children? I'm sorry, but that's not necessarily a good educational system if it has left millions of us parents feeling that we can't educate our children. And that is something that really breaks my heart. And it is something that I have been intentional about with my children, is showing them that they are, as a maybe 10-year-old, they can teach somebody something. My 14-year-old is taking a coding course class. It's just a friend. His friend is, I think, 2 years younger than him. We go to his house. This friend is a step or 2 ahead of my son. That's all you need. You don't need to know, you don't have to have the entire periodic table memorized to teach a child chemistry or to provide the resources for them to learn chemistry. Now that's going way down to high school. Some of you are just like, I just want to teach my kid to read. You can teach your child to read. Do you love them? Do you teach them other things? Have you taught them how to walk? Have you taught them how to tie their shoes, how to put their clothing on, how to make their bed? Have you taught them all these things? Yes, you have. You can teach them how to read. We are smart enough to teach our children. And even if we don't know a subject, we don't have to know a subject. Do you think every single teacher that's certified by the state knows everything? No, they're given a curriculum. They have to learn this curriculum. They have to learn these lessons and teach it to them. To be a teacher, all you need is to be at least one step ahead of your students. And that's it. And I can guarantee you that if you are 30 years old, your child is 5, you are way more than one step ahead of them. You can teach them to read. There are amazing resources out there. We can dive in another episode about that. But when it comes to parents saying to me, I want to homeschool, but I don't think I'm smart enough, stop doubting yourself. I know that you can do it. All you need to do is you need to step off the ledge, rip off the Band-Aid, whatever type of phrase you want to use. You just need to do it. It is scary. It feels overwhelming. It is something that you have never done before. But how do you know it's going to go badly if you've never even tried it? I can tell you there are going to be some rough days. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. However, what is your goal? What do you want for your children? Who are you trying to raise? Who are the adults you want out in the world? Well, there's one way to get them to that point, and that is to pour into them day in and day out. Mama, I'm going to ask you just this one simple question. Do you want to homeschool? This can apply to you if you're thinking about homeschooling. Maybe you're starting the process of homeschooling, or maybe you have been homeschooling, because we can get lost in it. We can get lost into the details and are they learning what they need to? Am I doing everything I need to? Are they going to be prepared for life? And we can get so lost in those types of things and miss out on, like, do you want to do this? And I'm going to tell you that at times you might not want to do it. There were times that I did not want to homeschool, but I told myself, you will never get to that end point that you wanted. You are never going to raise these children that how you want them to be raised by quitting. And so, Mama, if you are in the trenches of homeschooling and you're like, I don't know if I want to, stop right now and just tell yourself, I just need to take the next step. What are my goals for the next couple of years? Keep your eyes on that prize. Granted, don't lose touch and track of what you're doing right now, but understand what you're getting to. My oldest graduated end of last school year, and I didn't know that we were going to make it. She's wonderful. It had nothing to do with my kids. It had mostly to do with me. Well, maybe had a little bit to do with my boys. We're just going to do a little straight talk right there. But they kind of keep me on my toes. But I know that they are the young people that they are because I didn't quit. Because I told myself I want to. Even on those days that are really hard, deep down, I want to. I want to homeschool. I want to be able to pour God's truth. I want to be able to mull over deep subjects with them. I want to explore the world with them. I want to show them all the possibilities that are out there. I want to be the one that is watching the light bulb turn on in their mind and watching them learn and grow. So even on some of those days where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, I know that deep down in my core of my heart that yes, I want to do it. One foot right in front of the other. And if you're a mom that's in the trenches, I know how that feels, but I'm telling you right now, keep at it. Don't stop. There is I want to say finish line. We never quite get finished raising our children. We just move from one stage and season of life to another, and things look differently, but we're still always their parent. But as someone that is near that quote unquote finish line of graduating them, I do not, as an aside, I don't consider it as graduating them as being, okay, I'm done and my work is over. My work just changes. But as somebody who is entering that, getting close with my second one, I know that it's worth it, and I'm so glad that I pushed through. So I hope that if you are thinking about homeschooling or you're floundering in it right now, dig down deep. Do I really want to? As a quick recap, the 3 things that I hear as common objections when it comes to homeschooling, and it is an indication that you need to dig down deeper and figure out, do you really want to do this? Knowing that as parents, we have a lot of hard things that we need to do. Homeschooling is just one of those. So the first objection is that parents will complain about their current situation, but then they keep doing it. The second one is that they talk about homeschooling, but never actually do it. And the third one is excuses. Things like, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time. Any kinds of excuses. We need to dig down deep into that I want to, because it's going to carry you through those days and those years where it's going to be hard, and there's going to be lots of jumping around with kids, there's going to be bad attitudes, there's going to be tough days, and pushing through with that, knowing that deep down you want to, is something that's going to keep you going. Just remember that nothing of such importance as it comes to raising our children is easy, but it's always worth it.